Hello, my people who trying to improve their lives. Dim here. Welcome to the part 5 of series of my reflection of the year of the 2022. And we stopped last time at the mindset stuff, which is most interesting. So, we stopped at the 30th point and let's continue. And previous parts we covered something that was quite boring. Um, just good events that happened, dating, and some goals. Yeah, let's continue with the fun stuff, with stuff inside our head. Okay. Point 31. For me, I started journaling every day and doing daily, weekly, and monthly reviews. That I would recommend to a lot of people to do at least once in some period, maybe not daily, but daily helps as well, as I learned in my past 2 months. But for the most part of the year, I was doing monthly and weekly reviews, just what happened, what I achieved, what struggles were. I actually stopped doing the struggle stuff, the what can be better, and I was just noting what I achieved in the previous weeks or months. I think it works better for me, but it is kind of unique, individual. So find something that works for you. For me, it was really insightful when I started doing month reviews and looking back at what happened in that month. I was surprised how often I do forget what happened in that month. So by reading the journals, reading the weekly reviews and some daily reviews, I was just amazed at the things I thought were happening like maybe half a year ago or something, but it was all happening in 1 month. And so it helps a lot with being grateful to just the passing time, have seen how much progress you actually make, and seeing what also can be improved even if you don't focus on that fully in a month, uh, in in review, you still know what happened previously and you can accept that and move forward. So it is a really good practice for just remembering what happened, because our mind is not perfect for that, and it really helps. It really helps. It allows you to give yourself credit. It was for me, and it is really important to have more happy moments, to have something good in life, to notice good things that are happening in life. Yeah, I recommended that to a couple of friends, and I think their life got kind of better. But it's just a really good practice. So, next point, 32. I started to believe that my life will be okay no matter what happens. Yeah, that was the thing I got from my coaching, from coaching with Andy. And yeah, it's just one step further towards peace, towards not worrying too much about what happens, at least not adding more worries, more suffering on top of what you already have. Even in some bad moments, when you actually stop and think about what will happen afterwards, what will be afterwards. And I just saw that nothing really bad can happen. Even if something would really risk my life, it's not that bad. It sounds controversial with me, with my big fear of death and all that I'm still trying to handle. But actually look, stop and look about on it. It helps not to beat yourself up, and it helps just to enjoy the moment when you don't when you worry less about what will happen afterward, because you know what that whatever happens, it will still be okay, maybe after some time, maybe after a long time, but usually it will resolve itself quite better, and it may be even for the best. You just not don't know, and all the choices that we make are for our best. We always make the choices that are better for us in the moment. So that is the realization that everything will be okay and everything is okay helps a lot. Second point, I learned to be much more kind to myself. As I was talking about, not beating myself up. I did that a lot at the start of the year. In the previous year, I definitely did a lot of that. I was feeling miserable for a long time. And now I treat myself as a friend, as a family that I want to succeed, that person that I love. And even if I have some failures or setbacks, I don't beat myself up. Like, I still sleep up from time to time, but I would say like 95% of the time I'm being positive to myself. Like, I did whatever, every choice that I made was had some reason to it, and I can learn from that. But what is done already. What is the point of beating yourself up about it? And I became much more supportive to myself in internal self-talk, no matter what happens. Like I said, like I'm treating myself as a friend now, and it just makes whole life seem happier. I have a lot more happier, peaceful moments now, and I would give a lot of credit for my internal self-talk because of this. Okay, next point is I practiced gratitude and internalized it greatly. That was one of the biggest wins of this year. I got to a point where I could feel gratitude to something bad that happened to me. I could practice just finding something that I still can be grateful for, even if like some people were rude to me, uh, tried to use me, or something bad happened, something frustrating happened. I still tried to find something positive in it. And what actually happens after I try to find like 10 or 20 things about it and write them down is after that I just feel happy that this bad, perceivingly bad thing happened to me. I actually glad it happened because it gave me 20 things I can be grateful for. And there is always something I can be grateful for. And the second point about gratitude is just feeling gratitude for something that So something positive. Just notice all of the things that go right in life and that add to it. And that I started feeling that spontaneously, just by walking on the street and noticing light, or remembering previous day and how good it was. And it just makes you want to share it with everyone else. So when I was feeling gratitude for people I met in previous day, I just wrote to them immediately with all of this gratitude, because I haven't had even a worry about should I share that. It felt so pure, so kind, so warm. This feeling that I just wanted to share even for myself. And what usually happened, people reciprocated to me and said something good back to me. But even if they didn't, and they just acknowledged that, I was feeling better for myself. To express the gratitude is just makes your life better. You're doing it for yourself, not for other people. And if other people enjoy that, that's a bonus. Um, yeah, so that became the first point that I talked about, where I can be grateful for something negative that happened in life. That is another coping technique that I have in my arsenal now. And that just adds another level of trust to myself that I can handle it, and just overall life stability, that you have another technique to just use when you feel bad about something. Um, yeah, and at the start of it, it was really fun to remember how I started with gratitude. I just tried to imagine some strange things that happening to me. I was walking on the street and I was trying to brainwash myself into believing, oh, how good it is, like this weather and how it all feels, but I didn't really feel that. And I tried to come up with the reasons, and that was at the start of this year. And over the course of it, as I practiced more and more of it, uh, my conscious attempts, when I pushed myself, became actually noticeable. That, like, there was some moments when I was starting to get genuinely grateful for something, and at the end, I I started having these spontaneous moments when I don't even force myself to be grateful for something. Um, it just happens. It just happens, and it feels awesome. And that's how I know it's like best representation of the slight edge principle, when you just trying something, it compounds over time, and now I have this huge thing that just helps me and makes me happy in life. Okay, next point, 35. I created better relationship with relaxation. So I stopped treating it as a bad thing like I was at the start, like I said before. I realized that relaxation is important, and it is basically an area of life that to be considered, needs to be improved also. It can be seen as something that can be improved. So you can improve your dating life, you can improve your mental health and just mindset, and you can improve your relaxation. So you would have more physical and mental energy to just spend on everything else. And I was really averse to that concept at the start. And now I can specifically devote some periods of life to just improve at my relaxation. Just try different things, or try something that already works, or just have some periods of recovery. And that really helps with everything. else. Um, yeah, one of these important things was me starting to have day off periods when some days when I don't do anything, or I do just bare minimum and don't try try to not spend any mental or physical energy on anything. I usually still go to the gym or something like that, but it doesn't cost me much. And then I will just do whatever I want to do that day. So it may be not doing anything productive, or if I want to, I can do something. I can work on my article or something like that if I want to, if it doesn't require a lot of energy out of me. So it's just more about managing and accepting that it's okay to have periods of time when I don't do much. Next thing is I started feeling peace, joy, and love quite frequently. Yeah, I kind of covered that in previous ones. That is thing I didn't even consider for all of the year until the last month. And in the last month, I just made immense progress in it, and it just clicked with me that I can actually feel peace, joy, and love. I'm talking more about emotional states when you just look at life through these emotions, through these feelings. So being okay with something like even bad happening, like being just at peace with it is, and immediately start trying to see something positive in it, or being just joyful for day that when I am outside and it just happens. That gratitude thing I talked about, it ties here, and feeling love for just people that I have in my life, even if I haven't met them a lot, even I have met them like 1 or 2 times. I already want to give something to them. And just accepting that part it feels really awesome. And huge point there was to feel some intense moments of unity with myself that happened usually on some kind of my meditations that I do with food, uh, on breakfasts and all. And in these moments, like all the other world partly stops existing, partly you feel everything. I felt everything inside myself, everything that was around. I cannot even describe it properly. It didn't happen a lot, it happened only 2 times. But when it happened, it's like I can describe it only as this extreme peace, ultimate peace that everything is okay. Like there is no better phrase for it as is everything is okay, everything as it should be, and I feel all of that. So that was one of the greatest moments I've ever experienced, and I hope to experience them more often in the future. That I already experienced it 2 times makes me believe that I can improve on that. Yeah, and again, it's easily the progress here can easily be seen at the start of this year when I was reading my journal. I was only I didn't I haven't been able to feel peaceful at all. At most, I could have felt neutral, but usually I was speaking from fear or anger or something like that, from some negative emotions, bottom part of it. And yeah, the best thing there was I was trying not to punish myself. That was my highest point. And now my highest point is I just accept even the negative things and want to share something with people. There is a huge improvement here that I can see, and it feels really good. And it's not something to be afraid of, even. I was afraid of growing up, having this, being in negative, being in fear, being in anger, or feeling something negative can be a great push. And I used it always. And it was kind of my comfort zone in the uncomfortable, that I always knew if I feel something negative, that will push me to be better after some time. I was always afraid of feeling good. I was always afraid of not feeling afraid, because think I thought that it will be just stagnation, that I won't feel any motivation to change, to improve, and I will just enjoy everything and it will be okay. But it doesn't work like that actually. When I feel that great, I want to make something that would make me and someone else feel even better. So that was an awesome thing to notice. Okay, one of the last ones is I became much more honest and open. Yes, I had so much progress here also. One of the like there are two highlights. One of them is being more open on dates, because that's my primary social experience, or with some friends, just talking about my vulnerabilities, my something that I go through, and just sharing that. The second part was doing the same in my blog, in for all other people to see, and not trying to mask something that I'm feeling and just stating it plainly, not trying to show the best version of my, like, I'm still trying to be the best version of myself, but not being ashamed of if I can't do that, and still showing what I am at the moment, and just accepting that fact. And that was one of the primary things I wanted to focus this year. I didn't specify it as a goal, but it was always in my mind that I want to be more honest. And I made really great progress here. Yeah, I just tried to be honest, even if it made conversations, dates, interactions with people awkward. I didn't know what to do after I plainly said what I wanted. But after that, it's like maybe it cost me some dates, or yeah, it definitely cost me some dates or FABs that I was seeing, when I was clearly stating what I want and what I want in life, what I'm willing to compromise, what I'm not. I could have easily lied and kept seeing them, but it didn't feel right. So I was being honest and I lost them. But after that, it felt better, much better, because I was true to myself. And looking back and at a couple of months later at all of what I've done with being more honest, I am proud of myself for that. It is an integrity that I have now. Yeah. It is all about being true to yourself. It makes you not despise yourself, I would say. Makes you proud of yourself. Just doing what you actually want to do, no matter what results you will get. Just staying true to your beliefs and your philosophies. Okay, moving on. Shut the fuck up, Google. I started showing myself to the world fully, practice being extremely vulnerable and not being afraid of what can happen. Yes, that tied up to the previous point. That's how I tried to practice honesty and openness. And I actually that is more the actionable part. That was hard for me to do some strange things that that considered not normal, not regular, mm, and just accepting that I want to do that and still doing that. So that was me doing approach anxiety program with asking for the time and some awkward questions. Lately, it was me being among the social meetups and just doing some controversial stuff, like consciously slowing down my speech and just doing some strange things with my hands, like just trying to feel myself and all. Uh, this would have been, this was really awkward, but you just realize that nothing bad will happen. Nothing bad happened. And it was like I wanted to do that, and I didn't make an excuse and I didn't try to convince myself that that wasn't the right thing to do. I just know that the consequences can be that people will think I'm a weirdo, accepting that and still doing it. So, and that is the extreme vulnerability, of course, because it would have hurt if someone said that to me. And I am sure at some point it will happen and it will be awesome thing to experience. Because being vulnerable is being true to yourself. And it is a skill to practice too. At the start, it will hurt because it's untrained muscle, being resistant to, like, being so much vulnerable that it's almost impossible to, like, you're so open that nothing can happen that you consider as an attack. It's, you already know everything that could happen and you already accept that before it even happens. So that is the point to practice. I feel like I'm getting better at it, but I'm only at the beginning still, so it will be a good thing to practice moving forward too. And the last thing in mindset stuff, I recorded some vlogs about me from time to time. Yeah, that was just a small point at the start, but it was when I was doing approach anxiety program, it was when I was doing monthly reviews. It was my first experience with recording myself and putting myself out there just for someone else to see. It was a hard thing to overcome, but it makes everything better when you actually allow yourself to be seen. There's a lot of stuff that comes up, a lot of pain, a lot of limiting beliefs that I don't deserve, that I look ugly, the lighting is bad, the quality is bad, I speak bad, and a ton of other excuses. But it actually doesn't really matter at the end. It all just, the story is just an excuses to process. And that's why I consider this as my one of the great wins of this year, that I actually started recording myself and showing myself to people. And now I'm expanding on it even more. So great progress here. Definitely. Okay. 10 points covered. I'm going very slowly with this. There are like 3 or 4 videos worth left there. So next series there will be some interesting stuff like the mental health and social things and some hobbies and all. Yeah, I'm glad you were listening to it. If you didn't skip all of the parts, I'm actually glad if you even skipped that. Like, I hope you're just getting something out of this. I'm recording this mostly for myself, but I hope that it can be helpful to someone to relate to what I'm saying here. Maybe even to just listen to it in the background and come up with something bad for your own reviews or what you can talk about and give other people. And so I'm happy you were with me here. I'm happy I was recording this and see you in the next one. Have a good day, folks.